everybody, it's Mickey, and in today's video I am sharing over a dozen different ways to organize your small kitchen. You know, kitchens truly are the heart of the home, and whether you have a large one or a small one, getting the most out of your space is so important. So if you are new here, I hope you'll take a minute to subscribe. I put out new videos every week about all things home. One of the biggest things that I've had to remember over the years having a smaller kitchen is that you really do not want to take up space with all of the little gadgets that you maybe use, you know, once or twice a year. You want to save the space for the things that you use every day. And in my house, we use a lot of seasonings. So I have really devoted a large portion of my cabinet right here next to my stove for seasonings. I have found that it is easier to organize and save so much more space if you decant your seasonings and put them in like containers. They just seem to line up easier next to each other if they are all in the same types of containers. Some of my most favorite containers are mason jars. They come in so many different sizes and they are great for all kinds of different storage in your kitchen. These are known as like the little jam jars, and they're perfect for most of my seasonings that I use. On the top here, I get asked about these lids so often. These are shaker lids that you used to be able to buy, you know, right alongside your mason jars. For whatever reason, they are not sold anymore. I cannot find them anywhere, which I think is so sad because they are so perfect for this type of use. Now, I recently found these drinking lids at Walmart that I'm going to try to see if, you know, they are a good alternative to the shaker lids. I haven't tried them yet. I will really let you know what I think, because really all you need is a good tight seal and a little opening so you can get your seasonings out. So I will let you know how these work out for me. But mason jars are really such a great option for seasonings. You can use them in a bunch of different sizes. These are the seasonings that I use most often. So I have my garlic powder, Mrs. Dash, and dried parsley. I also found these little jars on Amazon, which I really love too. So I got these because I thought that they really went along well with my little mason jars. They have a great screw-on lid. They have a little shaker top here, and I think they also come with little stickers so that you can label all your different seasonings. I just really use my little label maker there, and I put a strip with a label on there so we know what's inside. But these jars are really great. So on this side, I have most of the seasonings that I don't use every day. They are in a smaller container. On this side, these are the seasonings that I use throughout the week, pretty much on a daily basis. So they have a little bit of a larger bottle. When you don't have a lot of space in your cabinets, risers really come in handy so that you can tier some of the things that you store. For example, this is a 3-tier riser that is perfect for our seasonings. You even have room underneath, like if you have packets or you have like tubes. Sometimes vanilla bean or saffron comes in a little tube that you can kind of tuck underneath here. There's also risers that you can use for a bunch of different things. This is one that I probably found at, you know, the dollar store or Walmart, and it gives you a lot of space so that you can even use these to add maybe your dinner plates on this side and your salad plates on top. It just gives you a little bit more space and freedom to store a bunch of different things in a little spot. One of the other things that I use in my little kitchen here are a lot of Lazy Susans. Now these are great for a bunch of different reasons. So on this Lazy Susan here in my cabinet, I have some sugar, I have a container of flour, I have a larger container of sugar, and I have my vanilla. These are things that I use every week. And I really like a Lazy Susan because I'm a short person and sometimes it's really difficult for me to reach the things that are in the back of a cabinet. But if you use a Lazy Susan, it makes easier access to all of the things that you would store up on this shelf. So I like having some of the things that I use daily and weekly at my fingertips. These are little sugar containers that I use a lot when I'm cooking to add a little bit of sugar to a recipe or for tea or whatever I happen to need them for. So I highly recommend Lazy Susans. These are also really great in your refrigerator to hold your condiments so that you can just reach whatever you need very easily and quickly. So command hooks on the whole is one of my favorite organizing tools. These are great in every room of your home and every closet for pretty much almost any need that you would have. They come in a bunch of different sizes, but I really like to use these small, tiny wire hooks. I use these throughout my kitchen to help me save space and store the things that I need. Using those command hooks on the inside of your cabinet doors is such a great way to give yourself a little extra storage space kind of tucked away. I've used a bunch of them here to hold all of my measuring spoons. I just think this is such a perfect place for them too because they're right in the cabinet with all of my spices. I use them a lot for baking, for cooking. And not only do I know where to find them, but I also know where to put them when they've run through the dishwasher. So, you know, I am not on the hunt for a measuring spoon when I need it. So adding a couple of command hooks to the inside of your cabinet door is also a great place to hold your cooling rack. So I have a couple of these set up around the kitchen. This is such a great spot because, you know, to have an area that you can either lie these flat or stand them up, not every kitchen has that. So this is such a great problem solver for me. I have used these to hold drying racks and roasting pan racks and all those kinds of things that you need in your kitchen but you don't necessarily have the space for. So many cabinet makers offer customization of their drawers and their cabinets, but what I have found is that really adds so much more expense to your kitchen or to your drawer. And any more that you can find at Walmart and on Amazon, really nice bamboo organizers to make your drawers look custom. Well, this is the big drawer that I have that is right next to my stove. So I am using this every day when I cook. And as you can see, even though there is a lot of things in here, it's not overstuffed. These are the utensils and serving pieces that I use every day, every week to make the meals for my family. Now, what I really like about this drawer is I was able to customize it for the way and the things that I needed to store in here. For example, these are some larger bamboo organizers that I found on Amazon and Walmart that really can hold a bunch of larger pieces. Like I have some of my carving knives here. I have my big ladle, some really large spatulas, and some other things that I use to like brown meat and break up sausage and those kinds of things. I was also able to customize a little spot for my rolling pin here. I have a little open area that I have for my butcher string, which I use a lot. And then I have some smaller spaces here for my small whisk, my vegetable peeler, and some of my spatulas that I use anytime that I cook or I bake. I really love this drawer. I think that this is such a good utilization of the space that I have. I even have a little open space here if I needed to add maybe another carving knife or something that I wanted to separate. I just think that having the ability to create your own custom drawer by buying different pieces to help you organize it is like just the best option. Because had I ordered a cabinet drawer that came pre-customized. It doesn't give you the ability to kind of change your mind. And you know, you go through stages in life where you use different things in your kitchen maybe 10 years ago than you use today. So it's really a good idea to be able to find those things that help you organize it for the way that you use your kitchen. I was also able to customize my utensil drawer using those same type of bamboo organizers. And here I have in the past used organizers from the Dollar Tree, used those for years, they worked great. But I really do like the way that the bamboo looks in the drawer. It gives it that little bit of custom look, and you can also create a space that is perfect for the way that you like to store things or what you want to store in the drawer. So for example, of course, this is just my everyday silverware. I have some serving spoons in this back section here. I use a straw every day, so I have a bunch of straws here that are for, you know, like my big tumblers and things like that. And this is where I also keep my mixers for my hand mixer. I just like to have spaces that I know that this is where my straws go, this is where my little beaters go, this is where my serving spoons go. I don't have a lot of these items, I just have a few things that, you know, I use all the time, and honestly, that's kind of all you need. For large occasions and for holidays, I have some other kind of nicer serving pieces that I store in my dining room. We'll go through that at another time, but I just like knowing that I have just what I need at my fingertips. I also have another drawer here that holds all of my paring knives and chopping knives. I have like my garlic press. I have this little thing that I have to use all the time to open jars. This is also where I have my meat thermometers and just things that I reach for all the time. I try to never store anything in the container that it comes in. I always decant all of the pasta, cereal, flour, sugar, all those things that come in boxes and bags. By decanting these products, you can save a ton of space in your cabinets and in your pantry. There are so many different kinds of food containers out there that you can purchase. I got mine at Walmart. I think they are just as good a quality as the more expensive options at higher end stores. When we were redoing our kitchen, my husband put in a floor-to-ceiling cabinet that we use as a pantry. I use containers in here to hold all kinds of things like canned goods, baking supplies, seasoning packets, and our over-the-counter medication. I bought a bunch of different size clear acrylic containers on Amazon, and they have worked out really well for me, so I'm going to leave links to them in the information section down below. I like using clear containers like this because it just is easy for everyone to see what we have, so that not only they can find it, but they will be able to put it away as well. The one tool that I would not be able to do any organizing project without is my label maker. I use a very basic Dymo label maker that you can probably find at Target or on Amazon. If you couldn't tell by now, I really like to label everything. Even with clear containers, you can't always see everything that's inside. You can also use hang tags or write right on the containers with a Sharpie. So under your sink is one of those areas in a smaller kitchen where your space is really limited. So underneath here you have all of the mechanisms for your garbage disposal, your plumbing, and it really leaves a little bit of space to work with. That's when one of these risers really come in handy. So I have a really limited space underneath my sink. In the back there you can see it's all that plumbing for the garbage disposal and for the sink itself. On this side is my garbage can. So this is really the only space that I have to hold things like, you know, my power wash and my Brillo pads and my dish soap. It's just another place where one of those cabinet risers really come in handy, just like we had in our spice cabinet. This, along with 2 dish pans from the Dollar Tree, hold all of my extra supplies that I need to do dishes throughout the day. On the top here, I have my dish soap, a multi-surface cleaner. In the back there, I have a couple containers that have Brillo pads and sponges. And then underneath, in this other shelf, I have my extra scrubbers and some latex gloves. I have some stainless steel scrubbers back there and refills for my kitchen sponge. So this little space really holds a lot, and I think that if you utilize a cabinet riser and some really simple dish pans from the Dollar Tree, you can really create a space that holds everything that you need. So that's going to do it for me today. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped you create a little bit more space in your kitchen. You'll have to let me know in the comment section down below which tip was your favorite. I hope you will join our communities over on Facebook and Instagram at My Bashful Life. And please don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to have you all back as part of our YouTube family. So until I see you in the next video, I hope that you love the life that you have. Be kind to each other, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.